press conference, Brendon McCullum, Debashish saying extra time. With the addition of Owen Morgan in the side, can we see Andre Russell getting a promotion higher in the batting order this season? And what does he bring to the KKR side?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think Owen Morgan, from our point of view, was a fantastic get at the IPL auction because we wanted to provide a little bit of resource around Andre Russell, six-hitting ability of Owen Morgan, particularly in the last 2 to 3 years. And we also wanted to provide a little bit more leadership as well around the skipper Dinesh Karthik. And obviously Owen Morgan is this year, he's won the World Cup for England and he's been a standout leader in world cricket. So he was a guy who we were desperate to get, and him batting in the middle order around Andre Russell and around Dinesh Karthik provides us with a really, really strong middle order. I guess the thing that we're going to try and pride ourselves on this year is also being a really smart team and utilising our resource against various teams based on the matchups required. Andre Russell hit 54 sixes, I think, last year. He came out of the telephone box on many an occasion. I think his game is definitely suited to probably the last 10 overs of a T20 game where he can really control it. But there may be times where the matchups are right, we can enter Andre a little bit earlier up the order. But that'll be a horses for courses type approach. But the good thing is we've got lots of resource to be able to choose from.
Anand Bazar Digital, do you think KKR's Indian bowling attack lacks a little bit of experience? And if that is the case, what role will Pat Cummins play?
Yeah, look, our Indian bowling lineup on the surface does lack a little bit of experience in terms of game time or games under your belt. But also what comes with that, there's no scars with these guys either. They've got incredible amount of talent. All of them bowl in excess of 140 kilometres an hour. They work really well together as a unit. They can't all play at the same time, obviously, but they'll all get their opportunities at some stage. I've been so impressed with the skills that they possess. They're all slightly different in the way they operate too, which from our point of view tactically is a crucial thing because we can use them in different aspects. But I think there's a couple of superstars in the making within our bowling lineup. Really important selection at the auction was obviously Pat Cummins. I thought he was the key buy when it comes to overseas bowlers, his pace, his experience, his leadership qualities. And also an area for us is that his ability to try and take early wickets. And if we can do that, we know we've got some quality spinners. And when you couple them all together from our bowling unit, I'm really content with the unit that we've got, particularly on these wickets, because I think they might have a little bit more in them than what most people are anticipating.
Cairo Sports, does the KKR squad this year give you the confidence of taking them to their third IPL title?
Oh look, there's 8 teams here that are all desperate to win this title, so of course, you know, that's the ultimate aim for us. Do we believe it? Of course we believe that we're capable of winning the title, but there's going to need a lot of hard work, a lot of luck to go your way. You need to get hot at the right time. The key for us is just to try and live in the moment, try and play each game with the respect that it deserves and try and put our best foot forward on every occasion. We do that. I have an immense amount of belief in our leaders within the group, and I have an immense amount of belief in the talent within our group. And that's all you can ask for as a coach and a coaching staff, is that you go out there, you try your absolute best, and you try and play the game the way it deserves to be played. And if we do that, I'm pretty confident that things will work out well for us, but let's see.
Cricket, take us through your experience from Trinbago Knight Riders title-winning campaign and what coaching ideas you would like to impart for KKR.
Yeah, look, the CPL was really a cool campaign for us. TKR was, they were real hungry, those guys, this year. They were desperate to regain their title. I think the clear separation is that with TKR we had 2,500 games of experience within our squad. We had 3 of probably the top 5 greatest T20 players of all time in Narayan, Bravo and Pollard, and we had an immense amount of experience around them as well. So from my point of view as a coach, it was almost about facilitating their opportunities and trying to get the most out of them from a leadership point of view and the familiarity that they had because they played so much cricket together. It was just a matter of sort of, I won't say stay out of their way, but trying to just facilitate their performance on the field and every now and then sort of keep them in check. But it was a great experience to be a part of. The coaching staff was wonderful. I think we grew some leaders amongst the support staff as well as the players. It was a really cool campaign. It'll differ slightly here because it's a slightly different makeup. We've got our top 4 experienced guys have played in excess of 250 games, and then the majority of the rest of the squad just lack a little bit of experience. But I'm not worried about that because I think the talent and the desire and the hunger makes up for the lack of experience anyway. And we'll try and mix our experience within our game day lineup. So it's a really fascinating challenge. There's lots of challenges for me as a coach to try and work with different captains and leaders as well. I'm looking forward to working with DK. I know him really well. I've played with him before and have an immense amount of respect for him. And I know he's really hungry to try and win a title for KKR and the people of Kolkata who have supported him in his role as captain and has also supported this team over many years.
ABP Ananda Sandeep Sarkar, you set an example of aggressive batting with your blistering knock of 158 in the inaugural match of the very first IPL. Does that inning still makes you feel proud? Will you encourage your boys to play aggressive cricket the way you have played throughout your career?
Yeah, that was the first question I got asked when I actually became a coach was, is every person you coach going to run down the wicket and try and hit it for six? And that's clearly not the idea. I think that was how I went about playing my career. I played with a really aggressive intent because that was what served me right. I think the key from a coaching point of view is to try and understand what each individual's best game is and try and motivate them to bring their best game day in, day out. And when you're putting squads together and you're putting teams together, or final 11s together, you're trying to get a nice healthy balance of craft or touch players along with aggressive players, and you try and match up against your opposition and you try and ensure that the guys within your squad complement each other. So look, I'm very much I'm about trying to give guys confidence off the field so that they can go out there and try and play their best game. And also I think there's times where you've got to try and add a little bit to their games, but fundamentally I want to work with our leaders and try and touch the entire squad across a vast level of experience. And one of those guys who I think's critical to this campaign this year is Shubman Gill, because even at such a young age I feel he's a leader, and because we've got some young guys within the squad gives us our ability to deliver our message across the entire squad. So yeah, I'm still very much learning my role as a coach, but I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to adjust it, and I'm certainly not preaching that you have to play how I used to play.
Sarangi the Hindu, since the squad was selected for the tournament in India, can we expect some tweaks in team composition, especially regarding spin as the tournament gets underway? Will there be more responsibility on Sunil and Kuldeep?
Yeah, I really think that the wickets are going to surprise a lot of people. I think early on in the tournament, they're going to be quite fresh. I think they could be quite helpful for seam bowling, in which case we've got Nagakoti, we've got Sandeep Warrior, we've got Shivam Mavi, we've got Prasidh Krishna, we've got Pat Cummings, Ali Khan and Lockie Ferguson. We've got a lot of very, very good quick bowlers who all bowl in excess of 140 kilometres an hour. So we've also got Andre Russell who does that too. So we've got a vast amount of fast bowlers that I think will suit those conditions. As the tournament wears on, and perhaps as we get into the Sharjahs and the Dubais, I think later on in the tournament spin will come to the fore. We're very fortunate with our spin bowling lineup too. Sunil Narayan, he can bowl on any wicket. Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakravarti, and also we've got this young Siddharth as well, who I think if he gets his opportunity could surprise a fair few people even at the age of 20. So I'm very, very comfortable with the bowling options we've got, and if the wickets play as we expect, then I think we could shock a few early with the pace and speeds that our bowlers can operate.
Dhiman, Hindustan Times. Players talk about winning momentum. How important is that for a coach given that he comes to a new challenge on the back of an incredible run?
Yeah, momentum's a funny thing, I think, because I think I like to use the word confidence and confidence in your beliefs and your opinions and your methods that you go about things. And I guess when you're winning, then it gives you that confidence that you're on the right path. I guess the real key is when you're going through a bit of a tough spell, when you might have lost a few games, is how strong you can still remain to those beliefs without being too stubborn in your views either. I think you've constantly got to be changing and playing what's in front of you. And I'm going to ask my team to play, we're going to ask our team, shall I say, to play a very intelligent style of cricket, to be able to be flexible with some of our tactics and our beliefs. And I think from a coaching point of view and a coaching staff point of view, we also need to be flexible and to play an intelligent game off the field to give these guys the best chance on the field.
Sayak Banerjee, The Telegraph. How would you analyse the growth of Owen Morgan both as a captain and batsman over the last 5 years?
Yeah, I think Owen Morgan, if we look at his career, the last 4 years in particular, if we look at the first part, I think that was his apprenticeship. He was good at times on the international stage, and if his career had finished 4 or 5 years ago, I think everyone would have said he was a good player. I think what we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years is a player who has taken his belief in his game, and he's led a nation in England, and he's completely changed how that whole country plays their cricket, and he's got the ultimate success, which was winning a World Cup. I think now when you see him bat, he's completely free. I think he's content with his game. I think he understands his game, and he's playing the game which he probably wanted to play when he was younger, but maybe didn't have the confidence to do so. Now he's playing free. He's an incredibly dangerous player, and he's probably the best middle order batsman in the short version over the last couple of years. So we're very lucky to have him, and I think his relationship with DK throughout this campaign will give us a good opportunity to be able to be there late in the tournament.
When you say, this is Neil Bhatia from The Week, when you say Shubman will be given the leadership role, what is expected of him when it comes to the leadership role? And will he get more opportunities probably to bat up the order?
Yeah, I think Shubman's better suited at the top of the order. I think he's a quality player, and especially if the wicket's going to be a little bit tricky early on against fast bowling, I think you want your players who have the best techniques and the best batsmanship and craft, and he's certainly one of those guys, and I see him batting at the top of the order for us throughout the campaign. From a leadership point of view, I'm really impressed with the way that he carries himself and the way that he plays the game. I feel he's got a bit of a presence about him even at a young age, very respectful as well, which comes with that. But I think what I want to see the most out of him is just to grow in his own time, grow in his own space, but also take those around him who are still reasonably inexperienced and grow at the same rate that he's growing in his own career. If we can do that, then the experience we can get into these guys at a young age in pressure moments is going to be a very, very good thing for KKR this season. So he's got a big role. I know DK really respects him as a person and as a cricket brain as well. And I think he's going to be another wonderful resource for DK both on and off the field.
Hridayan Sportstar, KKR looks solid this time. What are your thoughts on Tom Banton's exceptional scoop and switch hitting skills? And whenever he makes it into the 11, where do you see him bat?
Yeah, Tom Banton I thought that was a great pick for us at the auction as well. And look, he probably won't start for us in this campaign because we're going with a slightly different balance. But what he does, he gives you so many different options. He is a young man with it all before him. He's already made a bit of a splash in international cricket. He is unique in how he goes about his game. He's an exciting type of player. He's a guy who, even against the very best bowling in the world, can still shock them and dominate them. And when he gets his opportunity, I'm sure he'll entertain the crowds, well, not the crowds in the ground, but he'll entertain the fans all around the world. So I'm sure he'll get his chance at some stage later on in the tournament.
Shamik, the Indian Express, do you expect new kind of stroke making innovations coming in? Almost 360-degree innovations have already come into the game. Do you think there is still scope for new kind of innovations?
Well, I guess you never say never, but it's hard to see any more shots being invented. I think the current modern day cricketer, the current crop of players who are playing this game, especially in T20 cricket, and especially in the IPL, they're the very best that are going around, and I think they've pushed the envelope of what's out there already. I think what we probably will see is that we just see the level of execution of those shots, which are a little new, will start to go up. But it's hard to see any new shots really being created, I wouldn't have thought.